Hello, love. Welcome to Feeling Fridays here on the Libran Key. Messages for the highest and the greatest good of the Empath Collective here on Mama Gaia. Part of the Elsh Collective, of course. Empaths, lightworkers, starseeds, and healers. Awakened and awakening souls. Know that if this message has found you and you have found it, that there is something here for you. That is always the intention that I put into these messages. I already can't talk for this reading because we've got a lot of water energy coming through for this, okay? This reading is going to be an energy update. This is going to be an energy update reading for the month of March and for the transition of us moving from Pisces season, the end of a cycle, another yearly cycle when it comes to our astrology, our astrological year, the wheel of the zodiac, moving from endings to new beginnings, moving from Pisces into Aries with the vernal spring equinox happening on the 19th, 20th, depending on where you are in the world, okay, of March. Very divine feminine energies coming in for this reading. Mama Iset, Mother Isis, Mother Mary, and just there's something about Mary, okay? I heard there's something about March. To the same tune of the song, there's something about Mary, and this is all connected. Mary as a name is really fascinating because when you look at the different, it's one name historically that has many different meanings and is connected to many different languages because there is interestingly enough, I'm hearing a unity consciousness. Really, it's part of a collective consciousness, part of the collective conscious, part of our collective unconscious when it comes to what Mary is to each and every one of us and what she means to this ascension cycle, okay? And it's fitting that the name Mary etymologically has many different interpretations, many different connections, and also many different definitions. What's coming through specifically for this reading is the name Mary. I'm not hearing Maria, I'm not hearing Miriam, I'm not hearing any kind of different sort of versions of that name. Specifically, I heard Mary, and I was directed to the word Mer, that is the sea, okay? And specifically, Spirit is showing it to me, these energies are showing it to me spelt like this. So you could almost look at that and think it's myrrh. And how many connections do we have to this? You could almost say prefix. It's not really a prefix, but it's coming through like a prefix. Mermaid, merman, Merkaba, all these myrrh, ways that we use myrrh, but specifically there's a twofold thing going on here, and that's why I'm putting the word up or the letters up, but I'm hearing it coming through as mer, as in sea, okay? And this connection to water, this connection to the divine feminine is very, very potent as we move into the month of March. Now I'm going to touch upon, and I'm going to link it right here. I'm going to touch upon the energy update for the calendar year of 2024 for the Empath Collective. I'm going to link that up there, link it in the description box below, because I want to touch upon that first 4-month energy update that came through. The card that came out for that particular message is what Spirit is really directing me towards, and what the energies of this divine feminine are really directing me towards. And that card was from the Starseed Oracle, and it was the Loosen Your Grip card. And the message on that card specifically had to do with coping mechanisms, density, addictions, and letting God in. And what's interesting is there is a, you know, as everything in this universe and in this multiverse, we're dealing with a number of things on a spectrum here, okay? And one of the things that water and Pisces is connected to, one of the shadow aspects of it is escapism and addiction, right? Where we, you know, and this can be connected to water and the energies of water, right? In water, I'm hearing you can easily get lost. And this leads into the main message that they want to bring in around discernment. And that's where I'm going to bring some of the crystals that I'm working in with here, working with Lapis, Lapis Lazuli, and Sodalite, okay? All very much connected to the third eye, also connected to communication, right? How we're communicating to ourselves. I feel like I need to draw a lemniscate for some reason. I don't know why. I'm working. Oh yeah. Okay. Spirit's reminding me here of the fact that we are in an 8 year with the lemniscate. And when you add 8 to 3, which is the third, March being the third month of the year, you get an 11. And right at the beginning of the reading, I heard Stargate. So I always see 11s as portals. And this is very much connected to the energy of March. There's going to be some big changes in March. There's heightened energies in March. I know astrologically, I could not tell you off the top of my head. I know that some things are going direct. I can't tell you off the top of my head right now. But look into that and see where that applies. If you're someone who's astrologically inclined, see where that applies in your chart, because there's some kind of energy around discernment coming up here. There's some kind of energy here also with regard to, I'm hearing it's not equate, finding an equilibrium or finding a unification, really. Although they are showing me scales right now, so this could be that, a balance or a rebalancing, thank you, between the heart and the third eye. And really understanding discernment. Now, these energies are very much about bringing a sense of clarity to the mind that works in tandem with the heart space, okay? And for empaths, the thing that's really, really, really ringing through here loud and clear is healthy boundaries, especially with regard to these coping mechanisms and addictions, okay? Because what spirit and what these beautiful divine feminine energies want to bring through is that addictions, right when we hear that word, the common thing that we do as a collective is we think about substances. But addictions are coping mechanisms. They are ways that it's a pattern that continually repeats itself. It's a coping mechanism where we are band-aiding or escaping, again, bringing in that Piscean energy, escaping from the truth of what is going on more deeply. What's the root of it? Getting to the root of it, all right? Now, for Mother Mary and Mama Iset those energies to be coming through for this reading, there is a divine feminine energy here of wanting to go deeper within the void, deeper within the body, and to do the shadow work around this. And there's going to be a lot of illumination around these things and the energy present to assist us in illuminating these things in the month of March. And I almost see this is happening again more collectively. There's a potential here for this to happen more collectively. Now, whether the collective and any individual soul for that matter wants to look this in the eye, that's entirely up to their own free will. I'm simply reading these energies right now in terms of how they're coming through, the potentialities of what could be happening for the month of March. And as we transition from Pisces season into Aries season, and I'm just being reminded that we are going to be moving into eclipse season as well, because Spirit is really emphasizing also the Aries energies, the nodes in Aries and in Libra, and the eclipse is happening on the nodes, right? So again, moving into this energy that is Aries, it's like we're ending out a cycle. We're ending out a cycle. There's something, because of this Piscean energy that is coming to a close, we are ending out a cycle with regard to these coping mechanisms, these addictions, the density that comes along with that, this energy being available during this time to be supportive in us. I'm also seeing a lot of realizations around these things, like aha moments, and almost where you're catching yourself realizing how far you've actually come in terms of this, where you go, oh man, like you're facing a situation, let's say, where normally or usually you would be reacting or falling back into a pattern, falling back into a coping mechanism, right? And yet you're not doing that. And you're doing it in a way that seems, you're doing it from a place of centeredness. You're doing it from a place of feeling very centered and calm. And you don't really kind of realize it until after the fact, or it like takes you a moment to go, wow, I would have normally done this, this, and this in this situation, and I didn't. I actually, this goes back to the Aquarian energy, that video. I'm going to link that here too. Let me make a note of that, because that's also the energy of this detachment, but not in a way where we're like, completely devoid of feeling or engagement. Okay, it's just this energy of observing, of coming from a point of third perspective, seeing how it's playing out, taking a step back to get a much bigger perspective. Okay, that's what I mean when I say that. This detachment, it's not about disconnecting. It's about, I'm taking a step back to really get a bigger perspective on this, to see it from a much higher perspective, from a much broader bandwidth, from a much broader perspective. Okay. Last thing they want me to mention is, before I get into the cards, is the element of water coming back in here to purify. They're reminding me of this soul support message that was like, I don't even know how long ago it was, where we were talking about the light code integration, solar flares tempering that energy. Also understanding that there's a lot more kind of electricity in the atmosphere. That's a whole other topic of discussion, because that is not something that necessarily is coming through as being completely organic. This could also be just heightened EMFs in the atmosphere for whatever reasons, and I'm not going to get into that, but if you know, that could also just be, the water is a way to temper this. They're really emphasizing that. Baths, showers, being around water. Negative ions is also what they're showing me. We talked about that in another reading about the salt lamps. Crystals, being around certain crystal energies. I mean, I'm all about that, right? I'm seeing Apophyllite as well, so that could be another one that we might include here. I'm going to be asking for messages of support here through the Light Seers Tarot and through the Isis Oracle. Okay, starting with the Isis Oracle, these messages of soul support, this energy update, okay? Divine Destiny, Path of the Divine Warrior. I feel, with this card kind of coming out as we cut the deck, that this month and this transition into Aries, as we move into Aries at the spring equinox, is going to facilitate and be a big part of some of the awakenings around being a divine warrior, being a divine spiritual warrior. You know, this could also be connected to some of you to the Rainbow Warrior prophecies of the Hopi, as I know it. Divine guardian, protection of the winged mother. Yes, yes, that's the one that's on the cover of this book, and I love it. Okay. Really, really interesting, specific message that's coming through here. So you see how there's a scarab here? Okay, the message that's coming through specifically here, these divine feminine energies are here as guardians. They are here to guard, first of all, the divine feminine energy, period, that exists within this reality and in this plane. But they're also showing me that they are here specifically to help you transition through metamorphosis, to help you transition through big changes, okay? Rebirths in a way, because you could say that Aries is the sign of rebirth in a way. It kind of is, right? Death and rebirth as we move from Pisces season into, whoa, Aries season. That was fast. Ah! Wings of Isis is coming out, uniting with the angelic self. Okay. There's going to be this divine feminine energy, really, really interesting what she's bringing through here. I'm seeing the move from Pisces into Aries, symbolic of a rebalancing again taking place with regard to divine feminine and divine masculine of self, okay, and of the collective at large. So this uniting with the angelic self, it's coming through as Christ consciousness for me. It's coming through as the middle path. It's coming through as the Shushumna, okay, in the Hindu tradition as we know it. Rising sun is at the bottom of the deck. As I put those cards back, they still want me to shuffle. The divine solar child reborn. Okay, so there's something here with the Aries season. Okay. It's coming back to Christ. It's coming back to Christ consciousness. There's a message here with cutting the deck with the divine guardian, the warrior, the divine warrior, and this rising sun, divine solar child reborn of awakenings. They're showing me this, especially pertaining, because this is a Feeling Fridays message and it is directed to the empath journey and collective and consciousness here on Mama Gaia. Some massive understanding, some enlightenment, some massive aha moments, awakenings around empathy, the true nature of love, and discernment, okay? This uniting with the angelic self is also about embodying our higher selves, and they're showing me it specifically around the heart space and creating healthy boundaries through discernment. That's how they're showing it to me. And this assisting us in loosening our grip on the density that we have, that has been habitual for us. Patterns again. They keep on showing me this density as loops of patterns and behavior, like the coping mechanisms. Okay? All right. Past life, present power. The many spiritual faces of you. Absolutely. Understanding at a much deeper level your multidimensionality. This past life, present power is also pointing again to the persecution wound, to past life, to karma rebalancing in a way, to karma dharma, that sort of integration. And stay true and be in your power, Osiris and Isis. Yes, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. Okay, that is that integration of divine feminine and divine masculine energies in the middle way. Okay, beautiful messages here. also they're showing me this past life and present power as what you have also experienced here in this incarnation, because we have, you could argue, many past lives in one life, and then we end up, this goes back to multidimensionality as well, and understanding, and at a more quantum field understanding level, that a past life can actually be a parallel version of self. Take that if it resonates for you, right? And tapping into that parallel aspect of you as a point of power. The many spiritual faces of you. This is a deeper understanding of your multidimensionality that's coming through. And they're showing me the water again. Coming back to the water and this collective consciousness, this collective unconscious, you could even say. But water is consciousness. That's how they're showing it to me. Okay. They're bringing me back to the divine feminine. There's something really shamanic coming through here as well about like navigating the realms. I'm not going to get too off into that though. So let's get back to discernment, okay? So this is it, High Priestess, discernment. This is Mama Iset herself, the Lapis Lazuli, the Sodalite. Also working with this particular ray, the color indigo, darker blues, okay? I mean, mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. The eyes, okay? And I'm hearing, who said this? Two to look and one to see, right? Two eyes to look and one to see. Yeah. They're showing me the water is going into the void. I'm getting a lot of, interestingly enough, I'm actually getting a lot of Scorpio energy coming through with that. I don't know if something's happening in Scorpio, but there's the 8th house in astrology. This going deep, deep, deep into the psyche. This is going to unlock these past life, present power dynamics, because Pluto is about power. Scorpio is about power. This is also connected to the energy of Mars. And by way of that, it's also bringing up Mars and Venus being in their dance together and moving through. They're in Taurus, right? Moving into Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. There's a polarity there with Taurus and Scorpio. Look into that because those are opposing signs. Some kind of balancing of the energy here. Again, that wants to come in. Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, so this is a bit of a disclaimer. With that Queen of Cups coming out of reverse, not to get lost. This is a very specific message she's bringing through right now about making sure that when you are meditating, when you are going into these places, when you are going into the void, when you are going deeper, to make sure that you're doing it in sacred space, to make sure that you are calm and centered. Because the fear, she's also showing me the transmutation of fear here. She's showing me the energy of being very grounded. She's pointing me back to that when we cut the deck and the scarab, the beetle, with that red ball that was in the middle, the sphere, as our root chakras, our root centers, and being grounded. Making sure that these energies, they can be very overwhelming at times, and we have to be integrating daily practices of grounding, okay? And you know what? I'm being reminded of play. I'm being reminded of that message that had come through about grounded play. I'll link that video here too. Yeah, because it's all relevant. These are all relevant, okay? Yeah. Knight of Swords as I cut the deck. There is There's a nod here to struggling with these energies right now, struggling right now with these coping mechanisms, struggling with the patterns. I'm specifically, they're pointing me to anxiety, having difficulty with trying to get a grapple on this. Okay, coming back into the body again and being grounded. Again, I'm also, if for some of us, this is about making sure that we are working through our traumas, anything that we need to transmute in terms of that, making sure that we are getting trusted support in that, making sure that we are also in a place where we are working on getting so grounded and in our bodies, just really, really simply calming ourselves down so that we're able to actually work on this. Because we can't work on it. That's why they were bringing in the energy of fear before. Sometimes, and this is a thing, like coping mechanisms are there for a reason. They assist us until we get to a point in our own consciousness where we are able to transmute them. I want to make that really, really, really clear. And I'm not saying, how do I word this in a way that's like the clearest way possible? Sometimes it's just really difficult to make things concise, you know? This is about understanding that those coping mechanisms, whatever they are or were serving you in a way so that you could at least function, in this 3D plane. Once you understand and you gain awareness around what they are, that is a huge part of the journey around integrating more consciousness in those things and then being able to transmute them. I hope that this makes sense. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, okay? But understanding too that this loosening of your grip and letting God in, it can take time. If your intention though is, this is what I know I need to do, this is what I want to do, I know that this is no longer healthy for me, hold that intention. Continue to hold that intention moving forward. And ask your guides and ask Source, the universe, your higher self, to lead you in the direction of your highest and greatest good around integrating these things, around alchemizing these things, around what you need to do in order to transmute these coping mechanisms now into gold, okay? Knight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, that is a huge nod too. There's no need to rush this. They really want to bring that in. And with those divine feminine energies coming through, that is a huge confirmation to that. I thought a card flipped over here, but it's not. So they're really wanting to emphasize this. Mama, you said, is bringing me back to this uniting with the angelic self. Okay, this is about you spending more time in connection with your angelic self and with your higher self. There's strength in that because that's your sovereignty. That's connected to your sovereignty, okay? Your true self. Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel in reverse with the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay, how this is coming through. These beautiful divine feminine energies wanting to reiterate here that it's okay if you're not exactly where you want to be yet around this. These energies for the month of March and moving from Pisces season to Aries season are going to be supporting us in this, okay? Set the intention, of course, of your own free will, to really allow these energies to, I'm hearing, access you, to activate you, okay? And specifically, they're speaking here to the more, you know, this is connected to light codes. This is all connected to that. Solar flares, the upkick in energy, Mama Gaia's ascension herself. But what they're really, really, really wanting to bring through is the discernment around this and the awareness around this. More discernment, more awareness with regard to how to transmute these energies, how to transmute these coping mechanisms, how to do the shadow work, okay? Now, one of the ways right off the top of my head that they're showing me this, some of the hows, some of the practical things that we can do is to obviously seek some kind of support or assistance from different people, from groups, whatever resonates for you, what you trust, of course, okay? Even asking again, if you're really confused about this, asking your higher self to guide you in the direction of your highest and greatest good, okay? Also, really connecting with your higher self in meditation, connecting with your true self in meditation, bringing that sense of discernment. Exercises even, they're showing me to hone your intuition. Exercises that you can do to kind of, you know, really connect with your intuition and your discernment, okay? And remembering that this is an integration. This is heart and third eye integration. Also, simply just doing the energetic work on all your energy centers, right? Making sure that they're in balance. That could be another thing, really specific, because they're all connected, right? So with this Four of Wands coming out in reverse, what I'm seeing is a kind of, we're almost there, but we're not there yet in terms of feeling more centered spiritually, in terms of feeling more centered with regard to our soul, our intuition, what we're feeling, how we're guided, how our soul is guiding us, right? The nudges, the niggles, all of that stuff. This Knight of Swords in reverse is, again, a message to slow down. This Nine of Pentacles, I cannot emphasize enough, right? Like how much I love the Knight of Pentacles because of the fact that it speaks, it's Pentacles energy. This is the physical, the body, okay? And being your true self and how that feels in your body. How does that feel in your body? Also, the body being a huge barometer with regard to what it is you need to focus on next. The body keeps the score. This is also connected to trauma and somatic work as well. Doing that work to integrate those energies, to start to regulate your nervous system as well, so you can make those discerning decisions. You can make those discerning actions and moves. It's so incredibly important, like I cannot emphasize this enough, to have that in place first. Before you start seeking help, before you start going in different directions, having that first. Now, obviously, you're going to know when you feel resonance again with someone who can help you do that, right? So that's something to be very, very aware of. Making sure that you're being intuitively led by that, right? And that, again, you're going to know how that's going to feel when it feels right, when something resonates. And you can give yourself time. There's no need to rush a decision, to feel like you need to rush. It has to feel right for you. It has to feel right for you, okay? And, oh my God, like, they're showing me, like, the intention in someone's eyes. And this might be a specific message for some of you. Maybe this will help. I don't know. Take it if it resonates. Again, leave it if it does not. Really looking into a person's eyes, you can see the intention in their eyes, and you can see if they're a right fit for you too. through their eyes, okay? This Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I just keep on coming back to this balancing the karma, the dharma, the fact that we go through soul lessons for a reason. We're here to experience different things. There's a reason for that. There's something here connected to these coping mechanisms. They were created for a reason, right? There was a reason in learning them. There was a reason in having awareness now around them moving forward. That's how this Wheel of Fortune is coming through. It's also a nod to a cycle that wants to close itself out, a pattern that wants to close itself out. This is also, and what I think is really cool about this particular Wheel of Fortune card is we see it, I see a lot of yin yang in this, like light, dark, integration, understanding through going into the void, doing the shadow work. That's where the healing is, and that's where the healing lies. That's where we can get a deeper understanding of why all of these things are even happening in the first place, and why they do happen, and what was the reason for it. Okay? I think I'm going to end it out there. That's a lot. We're at 36 minutes. There's a lot here that wants to come through. They're showing me that we may do another update on this moving forward, even throughout the month of March. Yeah, because I'm also feeling that there's a lot of potential for healing in this month. There's a lot of, and when I say healing, I mean awareness, awakening around certain things, realization and integration, okay? Getting stronger in terms of our own discernment, mitigating the doubts is what I'm hearing as well. All right, understanding the importance of our own free will, no matter what, even the decisions that we make to move forward in a certain direction, to seek help in a certain direction, to go within, right? It's all connected. Okay, I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you to Mama Isent. Thank you to Mother Mary for coming through for these messages, for Spirit being here to support us. I thank you for being here, for sharing your time and your energy with me in this space. And I'm sending you so much love wherever you are. In love and liberation always.